Now we're going to start doing our plan, and we will start using the dollar. And the first pair we're going to look at is the dollar yen, and this is from last week. We had a structure point, a structure long point at 79.53. We had a long point of 79.53. It is now trading at 81.32, which technically you're up about 200 pips from the last week planning session. And this is the chart, as you can see. The dollar yen. This is the 79.53. That's the explosive move that followed, and this is where we are at today. We are above the new structural point, which is the 81.12, which is our structure point over here. The next structure point or significant point we have to look at it from a bigger trying to this is the weekly chart for the Aussie yen, the dollar yen. You can see that it's actually doing a pretty good job. It's beginning to formulate the potential of a trend change. It's not yet. When it gets above this point, this is going to be your when we can say that the dollar begins a bull market to the upside, which is the 84.17. So now it's reaching. So we have a very good range week. This is a good close. It indicates continuation to the upside. All what we need to know is what will be the next structure point to the upside, and we need to find a place that would be most probably be the next structure point, which is the 82.33. So the next structure point to the upside is going to be the 82.33. So I'm going to put it here. And our trade in the US dollar is quite easy. I know we're above the 81.12, which is our original structure point, which is right here that you see on the intraday chart. You can see how magnificent this move is, and we're moving. This is your structure point, the 81.12. It is also the low of the New York session. It is also the high of the London session. This is how magnificent these numbers work, and it is also mid-range of the Tokyo session. So this is as good as it gets. So there is no reason for us to short it unless it gets below the structural point. So we are going to short it below the 81.12. If it comes below the 81.12, this is where we're going to short. So the plan would be we're going to short the dollar yen below 81.12. That is going to be our structural short point, and it is also going to be our stop. When we have guys that are joining us for the first time, when we have an entry point which is based upon the structural point, I mean this is primarily the entry. We're going short below the 81.12. So that is the primary entry, going below that structural point. It is the same as our entry because we're just 20 pips away. That means if it breaks below the 81.12, this thing should capitulate. Therefore, we put our stop as the same. So the short entry is going to be the structural short, and it's going to be our short stop. Technically, you give it 10 pips or something like that within common sense, but we do that so that we can remain consistent and you can know how strong the entry is. So we're only going to go short below the 81.12, which is our structural short point. Now, to buy it, we can, it's already now 81.32. The high of the day is 81.43. So we're going to buy it above the high of the day. So we're going to buy the dollar yen above 81.42. The next structure long point is the 82.33, and these structure points are magnets. They pull the prices towards them. And our stop, if I buy it at 81.43, I have to put my stop over here below this. This is the only technical place I can put my stop, and it's right above the structure point. So I'm going to use, for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to use the 81.80, the 81.12 as my stop. So for the dollar yen, here is the plan. We're going to buy above 81.42. If I do, I have a structure long point at 82.33, and my stop is going to be the 81.12. So I'm risking about 30 pips on that trade. On the short side, I'm only going to go short below 81.12, and that is my structure short point, and of course it is my short stop. Okay, that is the dollar yen. Let me save it, and if anybody has